of Lake Norman is an open and inclusive congregation. Our members walk diverse paths to find meaning and purpose, but we are united by our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all and by the responsibility to express our faith through acts of justice and compassion. My name's Grace Bushusha, and I've been a Unitarian Universalist since 2005. Our speaker today is Jane Pope. Jane McAlister Pope has been an editor at the Charlotte Observer, a spiritual director, a Celtic harp player, and an occasional preacher at a variety of congregations. And these days, she mostly helps to raise her 2 young grandchildren. And now please join me in saying our chalice lighting words. You will find them in your order of service. We seek our place
and answers to our heart's deep questions. As we seek, may our hearts be open to unexpected answers. May the light of our chalice remind us that this community is born with wisdom and welcoming of multiple truths.
Our opening words come from Abraham Lincoln at a time before he was elected president and presided over the most calamitous years our nation has ever experienced. This was in a speech to the Wisconsin State Agricultural Society on September 30th, 1859. It is said an Eastern monarch once charged his wise men to invent him a sentence to be ever in view, and which should be true and appropriate in all times and situations. They presented him with the words, "And this too shall pass away." How much it expresses, how chastening in the hour of pride, how consoling in the depths of affliction.
And Autumn, will you be telling us about the children, what they'll be doing today?
All right. In this sacred space, the symbol that unites us is the glowing flame within the chalice. It reflects the courageous deeds, the boundless love, and the unwavering commitment to justice that defines our Unitarian Universalist faith. This flame is both a source of light and a beacon that links us to congregations, past, present, and those yet to come. Today, the children who accompany me to our classroom will learn about lessons of diversity in our Superhero Academy, and we'll also be doing an art activity and watching a video to reinforce the lessons and discuss how it relates to our Unitarian Universalist values. As we embark on our sacred journey, is there a volunteer that would like to help me transfer the flame? You can come on up. Oh, I got 2 volunteers. So our volunteer is going to help me transfer the flame to our vessel to symbolize the love of the adult congregation that's going to accompany the children to the classroom. Oh, you can do it that way. Stick it in there. Got it. Get it? Okay. If you want, we can use the candle. Okay. All right. Here, let's blow out this one. All right. So in a moment, Mike is going to play hymn 123. If you don't know it, it is in the gray hymn book. I'm going to ask that people stay seated. We're going to try doing things a little bit different as our volunteer walks around to gather any other participants. So may this additional flame illuminate the path of learning, growth, and continued discovery that awaits all of us. All right, you want to walk around? Oh, yeah.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots holy flows, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
And now, please stay comfortably seated as Mike takes us into this time and space of worship with his music.
This too will pass. It's an old saying dating back to a 13th century Sufi poet in Persia. It became popular in the West after Abraham Lincoln used it, as you heard in the opening words. It remains timely because of its simplicity and its double-edged meaning. Are you in pain? This too will pass. On hold with tech support? This too will pass probably. In the dentist chair, this too will pass. But are you feeling on top of the world? This too will pass. Are you rocking your infant, so full of love you could burst? In the blink of an eye, that baby becomes a toddler, a teen, an adult. Sorry, this too will pass. There's a variation that I call the kidney stone theory of life. This too will pass, but it will hurt like hell until it does. This too will pass. My thoughts turn to this old adage, in the afternoon before Halloween about 3 weeks ago. The weather couldn't have been more perfect. And I sat on my second-story deck looking down upon a peaceful world. I relaxed, soaking in the warmth, listening to bird song, watching golden trees dance in the breeze. In my lap purred a gentle cat, not the one who attacks me. Mostly black with long white whiskers and white paws. It was pure delight, made more delightful because I knew it wouldn't last. Forecasters warned that this warmth would vanish overnight, leaving us in a wet chill and a plunge of at least 20 degrees. The trees, so gloriously arrayed, would soon shed their colorful attire and stand naked against the sky. And the sweet, cancer-ridden cat in my lap was unlikely to see another fall or even spring. As it turned out, she lasted only a week. So I'm grateful that she and I had that afternoon in the sun, a moment to fully enjoy life and one another. And I'm grateful that I knew then how transitory those hours would be. The many endings in our lives can feel overwhelming. We lose so much. Parents, lovers, friends, youth, jobs, pets, our health, our dreams. All the people and things and situations that enrich our life will someday be gone. Is this uplifting enough for Sunday morning yet? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Is it outrageous of me to suggest that we can see this as a gift? Bear with me. Change happens whether we like it or not, and most of us don't welcome it. If life is going well, we want to hang on to the status quo, right? If we face problems, well, as the saying goes, better the devil you know. I saw a cartoon the other day that showed several caterpillars crawling on leaves, going about their caterpillar business. One, though, held up a sign that declared, "Metamorphosis is coming." Would they have seen this prophecy as a promise or a threat? This too will pass is a gift because it promises us that suffering isn't the final word, that wars will end, that dictatorships will fall, that winter will yield to spring. And it's also a threat. It reminds us that we can't take beautiful days and good fortune for granted. We can't take those we love for granted. Happy times end too. This too will pass. But that also is a gift because it invites us to treasure the present, not take its delights for granted. It is a gift to know that all of this, good and bad, is transitory. And what's the proper response to a gift? Thank you. Gratitude. Thank you very much. Thank you, Grandma, for the dollhouse. Thank you, mortality, for making life so precious. Annie Lamott recently wrote, "My dad said after his cancer diagnosis that we are all on borrowed time, and it is good to be reminded of this now and then." This week, we will celebrate Thanksgiving, one passing day in our borrowed lives. It is a holiday steeped in tradition, but celebrated in many ways over the course of our lives. Over the years, I've spent the holiday with more than a dozen of my close relatives, more than 100 of my husband's wider family, and by myself at Waffle House. I found ways to be grateful at all of them. However you spend the day, and whoever you spend it with, I hope you will keep in mind that this too will pass. May we all find ways to be grateful for what we have and for what we have lost, for our achievements and our failures, for life's certainties and its mysteries, for families, even when they drive us crazy, and for friends and for animals who share our lives. Let us be grateful at all times for what is and will never be again.
Amen.
Well, don't go anywhere, Jane, because we are going to have a time when anyone can make a comment and ask questions about her message and share your own thoughts on what Jane said. So please come to the front to use the microphone so the viewers at home can hear. Don't everyone jump at once. Are there any questions or comments about today's message? Yeah, Kim. You don't have to, but it's, the viewers can't hear you at home because we're being recorded. Oh. Yeah.
I appreciate this message a lot because I've been thinking about how our culture and society has been taught to fear death and change so much that it's like anti-death messages everywhere, and it's part of life and part of change, and I'm open to new ideas about it.
I'm not sure what I'm going to say, but Thanksgiving, you all know I lost my husband about a month ago. This too shall pass. Grateful so much for the wonderful life we had together, and all the friends that came to support me. But he was a wonderful guy, and I'm glad he did pass because he was really suffering with the health problems, and it was his time. And that's what I tell everybody, it was his time. So anyway, thank you.
For a lot of years in a lot of different places, from a tiny, horribly tacky apartment in mid-Missouri when I was in school there, to the house Marjorie and I have now, I've hosted and done a ton of cooking for Thanksgiving dinner, and it was always fun, and it was always exhausting. I do okay up until the time of getting it onto the table. And then, the glue just comes apart. Somebody has to rescue me. But I think I don't want to say this too shall pass in any forever kind of way, but this year we've been invited to dine with some friends and to bring one. one dish. And a bottle of wine maybe, but it's a big transition in my life. And I'm willing to go back to the other life, but no, I'm taking this year off. It's great.
Don't want to run over the president. Yes, just on the topic of gratitude, and some of you know that I have a decades-long fan of Carrie Newcomer, who's a singer, songwriter, poet from somewhere in Indiana. And I've subscribed to her Substack channel, and today's submission by her was about gratitude. And the statement that I like the best out of this whole long diatribe was, living well with gratitude and joy is an act of resistance, a claiming and affirmation of all that is still good and still true.
I wanted to add a comment to what Jane's message was about. I have metastatic breast cancer, and one of the things that helps me every single day is that I know that, not that this too shall pass, but for me, but that I know that life is short, and that at any time things can change at a moment's notice. Like, I mean, really for anyone. So even though I have metastatic breast cancer, I know, and it could come back at any day or any time, and then it, to any part of my body or whatever. What really keeps me going is that life is so changing, and that it can happen to anyone. Anything can, not that anyone's life could end at any time. Like, we never know what could happen to us. And also anyone's life can continue at any time. So, I mean, like my father-in-law, who's 103, I mean, we all thought he was going to pass away. So I just wanted to add that little piece of my life. But thank you, Jane, for your message, and Mike, for your music. And this fellowship is important to us all. The contributions we make today allow us to sustain and grow our congregation and to reach out to our community, both nearby and in the larger world. Your giving affirms our commitment to each other and to the community. With grateful hearts, we receive these gifts. May they encourage us to live lives of integrity, compassion, and peace. And now, if you would just look at the announcements with me in your order of service. Linda had something she wanted to say.
Yeah, we're going to go to Crafty Burger today. Everybody's invited to join us. It's Cornelius, and just a warning there, that road is closed at one point, but you can kind of move around and get to Crafty Burger, so don't let that just deter you.
And pretty much, does anyone else have anything to note in the announcements? I did want to note that the UUA has moved from 7 principal ways to 6 principal ways to express our bond with each other and our commitment to the world. So love is in the middle, and then there's six principles outside of that are interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, with love being in the middle, which I thought is really nice. Our closing song today is 1008 with When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, in your teal hymn book.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color and beauty and line, when we see our faces in each other's eyes, when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the inside, when we listen to the right mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of the secret space, and the power of hearts turn within, and when we feel the power of each other's faith, when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place.
I'd like to welcome Mike's new guitar.
Sounds good.
Closing words are from 13th century monk, mystic, and accused heretic, Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough.
And now we extinguish the chalice, but not the light of truth, warmth of the community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we meet again. Go in peace.
Yeah, I think together.